unexpected!
It's really odd. The video, I guess, just won't work. Let me try that again.
It's March! Expect the unexpected!
Alright, it looks like the video is not working. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to this is Week 16, where we got ourselves an absolute quarter taking place. I apologize for the technical issues. I thought that we would be on point today, but I guess that's just not the case with Wi-Fi. I mean, I shouldn't be too surprised that the video wasn't playing. That's what it is. It's not all of it. That one works fine. That works fine. Yeah, sadly, it was just the March Madness video that's just not working. Let's talk about tonight's matchup before we really get started. We've got ourselves a barn burner tonight as Rick Pitino, St. John Red Storm take on the #1 seed Duke Blue Devils. The starting lineups: Dylan Darling, the hero from the Kansas game, with Isaiah Sellers at the 1 and the 2. Bryce Hopkins playing a forward guard at the 3 with Dylan Mitchell, along with Zuby Ejiofor. For the Blue Devils, Caden Boozer and Isaiah Evans are at the top, with David Starr as a freshman at forward, with Malik Brown at the 4 spot, and the big man Cam Boozer at the 5. Head coach of Duke, John Shire, in his 4th season as a head coach of the Blue Devils. He's got a 123-24 record. He is the 4th head coach with 3 Sweet 16 appearances in his first 3 years. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, just about to get started. It's an old rivalry, Duke and St. John's, and we are officially underway. At the tip is won by the Johnnies. Here's Mitchell. Back over for Hopkins. Top of the key, looking for Isaiah Sellers. Looking for a man double-teamed early. Gets it out into Zuby Ejiofor. Ejiofor moves in. The drive. Looking. Kicks out. Top of the key for Sellers. It's poked away. Hopkins finds a man for 3. That's short. The rebound goes to the Blue Devils. Here comes Caden Boozer up the floor. They ended up winning. The Blue Devils won by 33, or 33, excuse me, against the TCU Horned Frogs. Here's Cam Boozer. Swings it down low, back to his brother Caden. Kicks it out. Jones. Back to the top it goes. Here's Brown. Up for Evans. Going up. Pump fakes. Has a man. Goes inside. Gets the tough finish, and it's good. Isaiah Evans gets the first basket, and the Blue Devils are on the board. Here comes Isaiah Sellers. Swings it down low for Mitchell. Back out to Darling. Gets the screen from Ejiofor. Top of the key. Goes to the right side. Mitchell moving in. Floater is up and in. And St. John's responds in kind with a bucket of their own. A 2-pointer by Dylan Mitchell. Here's Caden Boozer up the floor for Duke. Gets it back down to Brown. Gets inside. Cam Boozer, tough finish. It's good. Cam Boozer, the best big man in college basketball, getting it done once again. 4-2 Blue Devils lead. Here's Darling. Double teamed early. Gets it down low. Ejiofor gets it back. Mitchell inside. Layup is good. Blow for blow go Duke and St. John's. 4 apiece. Excuse me. Here's Caden Boozer. Moving in on Darling. Tough finish. Gets his own rebound out for Sarr. That 3 won't go. Rebound by Mitchell. Appreciate it. Goes inside. Tough finish won't go. Ejiofor gets the rebound. It's going to go off of him. Last touched by the Johnnies. That'll stop play with about 17:30 to go. Let's take a look at the winning looks presented by Great Clips. The big keys for the St. John's Red Storm is offense off of defense, and of course, Zuby Ejiofor. For the Blue Devils, it is handling the pressure of St. John's and their interior game, as my good friend Frank Labella mentioned earlier in his show. Here's Caden Boozer. Guarded one-on-one by Isaiah Sellers. Gets it back down to Sarr. Gets it back to the post for Mitchell. Or maybe Brown, pardon me. Boozer. Off the screen from Sellers. Boozer. Tough finish. And he'll get the roll. It's good. Another bucket for the Boozer brothers. 6-4 Duke. Now here's Ejiofor. Correction, Hopkins. That one goes off of his foot, and that'll be out of bounds. Last touch by Bryson Hopkins. That is what Cade Boozer does. He will go up in your face, aggressive, physical, all that flash and pizzazz. That's what he does. Malik Brown. Okay, I was right the first time. Possession arrow in favor of Duke. Caden Boozer had 9 points against TCU with 5 assists. His big game is obviously against Siena. 6-4 the score. Blue Devils lead. Here comes Caden Boozer. Moves in on Darling, and a foul is going to be called on the floor. The first one of the game, and it will go against Dylan Darling. And the first foul of the game. Got to make sure I got this right. 16:53. Okay, so I'm up 2-3 seconds off. No Dagestan. Boozer. Moving one-on-one in on Hopkins. Gets a tough fake. Out to Sarr. Evans. Back out right corner Boozer. Tough off-dribble defense here from St. John's. Here's Evans. Pump fakes. Back out to Brown. And it's stolen away. It's Sonone with it now. And here come the Johnnies. Moves it up for Darling. Mitchell left wing. Back across top of the key Ejiofor. Darling gets the screen from Zuby. Gets it back out right wing. And it's stolen away by Malik Brown. And here come the Blue Devils. Sarr 3-on-3. They get it out to Evans for 3. That won't go. Rebound by Brown. He goes up and finishes. And Duke has themselves a 4-point lead. 8-4 Blue Devils. 16:05 to go here in the first half. Here comes Dylan Darling. Back across for Mitchell. Looking for a man. He finds Hopkins. Top of the key Ejiofor. Guarded by Brown. Swings it for Darling. Darling double teamed early, applying the pressure on the Blue Devils. Gets to the right wing for Hopkins. Back out Ejiofor. Pump fakes. He's going to shoot up a 3. Back of the rim. No good. Evans the rebound. And now here come the Blue Devils. Caden Boozer moving in one-on-one with Dylan Darling. I sure hope the quality of this is good. If it's like cutting in and out, I'm going to be really annoyed. Brown gets this one out to Boozer. To his brother Cam. Swings it out. Caden for 3. Bottoms! Caden Boozer knocks down the 3. And the Blue Devils have themselves an early 11-4 lead. Sounds good. Great. Now here is Mitchell. What's up, Tommy? Welcome to the stream. Here's Hopkins. Looking for a man. Finds Dylan Darling. Spot up 3 from the white boy. Connects. Dylan Darling with his first points of the game. 11-7. St. John's cuts the lead to 4. And then there's the classic full court press and a steal. And Mitchell's got himself 2 of his own. An unprecedented 5-0 run for St. John's right out the gate. That's a Rick Pitino special. Nearly another one, but it's going to be last touched by Mitchell. And that'll take us to the first use. That'll be the U16 media. 14:36 to go in the first half. We'll be right back after this. That is classic Rick Pitino right there. The full court press. That's what I'm used to from him. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. 11-9, the score in favor of the Blue Devils. But a 5-0 run for St. John's right off the gate. A 3 by the white boy Dylan Darling, and a basket by none other than Mitchell. Which reminds me, I gotta pull out my chart. Oh, I guess you'd call it my chart. It's more so my basketball terminology sheet. Now, I make one of these every single year. Well, normally I don't make them every single year, but I've had it for a while now, and I gotta find what page this thing is on. It's old, it's from a while ago. Did I rip it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so we're gonna be listing off a lot of these types of things that you see in basketball because I want to be creative. I don't want to say the same thing every single time. It's not that hard. Okay, so the big thing for St. John's is obviously their interior pressure, but they also have to respond to the Blue Devils as much as possible with the Boozer twins, who are absolutely outstanding. Sar is a freak of nature. There's a lot on the line tonight. The winner of this game goes to the Elite Eight to face off against the winner of Michigan State and UConn. That is going to be a fun game. I'll tell you that right now. Starting at 9:45 p.m. But for those that are wondering, this is indeed, as you look at the top right of your screen, there is a second scoreboard. This is a double feature. We're doing 2 games. You'll be getting score updates from Michigan, Alabama, but we will primarily be focusing on this game, and once this game is over, we will be flipping to Alabama, Michigan. Yaxel Lindenberg looking to lead the charge for the Wolverines alongside Ade Mara, Morez Johnson Jr., Elliot Cadeau, Trey McKinney. It's a friggin' loaded roster. For the Alabama Crimson Tide, it's now been LeBaron Philon, Aiden Holloway, who is officially back after being, I think he's playing. Or never mind, he's not playing. That was a bonehead comment by me. My apologies. And now here come the Blue Devils. Caden Foster is now in. No, it is Cam Foster, is it? It's Cam Foster. Here's Ngongba. Back out to Foster. Foster the lob. Ngongba throws it down with authority. And the Blue Devils retake the 4-point lead. Here's Hopkins. One-on-one. Gets past Cam Boozer. And a nice finish by the Providence transfer, Bryson Hopkins. 13-11. Johnny's trail by 2. Full court press now from St. John's. The Red Storm are competing with the Blue Devils. Here's Caden Boozer. Goes inside. Block. Nagong with a putback. No, but a foul is called against the Red Storm. Second foul of the half for St. John's. But look at this. Beautiful pass. Nice lob there for Ngongba. A little bit ticked off that my one thing did not work. And here is Ngongba at the line. First free throw. Not even close. Didn't even hit the rim. We just airballed a free throw, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's not a great look. I'll tell you that right now. Airballing a free throw. Ngongba, not the greatest free throw shooter in the world, and he misses them both. Not ideal for Duke, especially a team that benefits from free throws a lot more than any other team in the country. Mitchell Sun and Ian Jackson, Bryce Hopkins, Zuby Ejiofor on the floor here for the Red Storm. Here's Ejiofor. Looking for a man, dumps it off Ian Jackson. Spot up, 3-ball, bottoms! Ian Jackson knocks it down, and the Johnnies have themselves a 1-point lead. Burying it from the perimeter, and the Red Storm are out in front. Here comes Caleb Foster. One-on-one with Sanon. Frank, if it's Sanon, tell me. I'm pretty sure it's Sanon. I cannot remember how to pronounce it. I think it's Sanon. Top of the key it goes. Boozer. One-on-one. Now double team. Tough take. But he does not get the double bounce. Rebound Ejiofor. Here come the Johnnies. Flying down the lane. Wide open. And a beautiful fake by Ejiofor. But he is fouled by Caden Boozer. And that will stop the clock with 13 on the dot. And free throws coming up for the Red Storm. These guys are playing very well, to say the least. I gotta admit, I'm impressed with how well St. John's has been handling the storm of the Blue Devils. No pun intended, of course. It's like Kamania? Nicholas Kamania. I think it's Kamania. First free throw is up and good. Zuby edge of 4. Puts the Johnnies up by 2. Taking a look over at Mitchell. And he'll get the double bounce. Free throw is good. 16-13 our score in favor of the Red Storm. On a 12-2 run of the Johnnies, here with 12:55 to go here in the first half. Gets the screen. Here comes Foster. One-on-one. That one's poked away. It's picked up again by Malik Brown. Or that's Evans, excuse me. Isaiah Evans moves in on edge of 4. Nice pump fake. Goes up and scores. And St. John's' lead cut down to 1. 16-15 Red Storm. 12:30 to go here in the first half. Here's Hopkins. Back to edge of 4. Edge of 4. Spot up 3 ball. That's good. A big shot by Ruben Prey. And St. John's now leads by 4 once again. That's who that is. Ruben Prey. I was about to say, not crazy. Here's Cam Boozer. That's it. One-on-one with Isaiah Prey. A little half-court press action from the Johnnies. St. John shooting 7 for 10 from the field. Duke 7 for 11. Here's Boozer. Goes up the lob. It's broken up again. It'll be out of bounds as Ian Jackson could not hang on. And that will take us to the under 12-minute media timeout. 19-15 our score. Johnny's lead. We'll be right back after this.
It's March! Expect the unexpected!
All things March Madness. As my good friend Frank Labella once said, the most wonderful time of the year. I gotta say, I'm very happy that he was creative enough to come up with that. Oh, shout out my man Frank, big St. John's guy. And I wish them nothing but the best tonight. Frank, I salute you, brother.
It's March!
Yeah, so now the video wants to work. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but oh well, what can you do? Which I would just like to remind everybody that is watching that we do have ourselves once again another definitely not sponsored drink of the stream. It's an old reliable lemon lime Gatorade. It's not red, it's not blue. We got to be neutral today, all right? At the end of the day, I'm a college basketball fan, not a St. John's nor a Duke fan. Nor do I like St. John's, nor do I like Duke. So, at the end of the day, I'm just going, this is a neutral fan. Bottoms up. Here we go. All fueled up and ready to go, as Kevin Harlan used to say in the 2K games. Take me back. That was a long time ago. I'm not going to be biased tonight, I promise. No love towards St. John's. No love towards Duke either. At 7:35, we are about to get a barn burner underway. Number 1, Michigan, taking on number 4, Alabama. That ought to be a fun one. As you can see, the scoreboard on the top right of your screen will be updating in real time thanks to the Sports Score Bot. It is an absolute thing of beauty. I will tell you that right now. I'm able to get so much done on it, and it does it all for you, which is fantastic. That's what I really, really like. I like ways to make my job easier. John Shire has outscored 10-4 since Caleb Foster has entered the game. It has not been ideal for Duke. They are starting to fall off a little bit tonight, but we'll see how things go. I'm expecting this to be a barn burner of a game. I think the spread was very favorable, for better or for worse. I thought it was relatively fair. Foster this season, 8.5 points per game, but only shooting 45% from the field. And a steal by St. John's right off the inbound. Hopkins goes up and he is fouled hard on the play by Ngongba. And 2 more free throws coming up for the Johnnies. Kamania tried to get it up, but Hopkins is just too tall. Makes that play easily as they just come sprinting down the floor. Not the start that St. John's wanted. Or that Duke wanted. First free throw coming up here from Bryson Hopkins is off the back of the rim. Rick Pitino, the legendary head coach of St. John's, as a substitution, Mitchell comes in for Ejiofor. It's pretty remarkable what Pitino has done at St. John's with pretty much the entire Iona coaching staff, as he's taken this team to levels that they have not seen since Ron Artest was in college. Hopkins knocks down the second. He goes 1 for 2 from the stripe. 20-15. St. John's has the lead. Here's Kamania. Gets it up to Boozer, and here come the Blue Devils. They finally get out of the full court press. Goes inside. Tough take. Can't get the finish. Ngongba had it. Lost it. Picked up by Ian Jackson. Here comes St. John's. Ian Jackson up the floor. Looking for a man. Finds Mitchell. Back out to Jackson. Spot up 3 ball. Short. Pray the rebound. It's tipped away by Kamania. Here comes Kamania. Half-court press here for St. John's. Kamania. Out to Foster. Foster met at the logo by Ian Jackson. That's Mitchell, excuse me. Here's Evans. Boozer. Evans, tough 3 ball. Will not get the bounce. Loose ball picked up by Hopkins. And here comes St. John's out in transition. Moving it up the floor with 11 minutes to go here in the game. In the half. I forgot to run the clock. Lovely. Here's Hopkins. He nearly lost it. Looking for a man. He's got Ruben Prey. Out to Sonone. That 3 won't go. Prey gets the rebound, and he is pushed out of bounds. And a foul call will go against Duke. Their 3rd foul of the half. Yeah. It's still relatively early, though, so it goes without saying. 20-15, St. John's leads by 5, and the big difference maker for them has been Ruben Prey. He has come off the bench and has just been that guy for St. John's. Quick inbound, Sonone for 3, that won't go. Boozer couldn't get it. Jackson for 3, that won't go either. It's picked up by Caden Boozer off the tip from Malik Brown. Here come the Blue Devils in transition. Brown, looking, finds Evans, one-on-one with Prey. Evans. That's tipped by Prey, another steal for St. John's. Here comes Jackson, looking for a man. Gets it down low. Ejiofor, blocked again. This time I believe Brown. That one's tipped away, but it'll stay with Duke. What a wild start to the game for both teams. I mean, I love it. It's just defense out the wazoo. This is beautiful. I absolutely love this. I love college basketball that's got defense. You don't get that very often, unless you're watching Michigan. St. John's coming out flying in this one. 20-15, 10-11 to go here in the first half. Here comes the full court press again. Here's Caden Boozer guarded by Dylan Darling. 0 for 3 in their last 5 possessions with 2 turnovers. Here comes Cam Boozer. Goes in on Hopkins. The drive. No basket. It'll be a foul on the floor. And it'll be side out for Duke. Dry Coca-Cola with a Wendy's $8 Biggie Bundle. Doesn't seem too bad. Off the inbound it goes. Here's Isaiah Evans. Goes up. Floater is money. Isaiah Evans gets the Duke Blue Devils within 3. Here's Darling. Kicks it out. Bryson Hopkins for 3. You bet! Bryson Hopkins knocks down another 3-ball. St. John's having themselves a track meet against Duke. And the number 1 team in the country off to a rough start. Here's Malik Brown. 1-on-1 with Ejiofor. Gets it in down low. Cam Boozer goes up. No. The tip-in is good, and Malik Brown gets himself the putback. 23-19. St. John's up by 4. Here's Darling. Goes inside. Tough shot. Won't go. Rebound by Sarr. Here comes Duke on the fast break. Sarr swings it out for Evans. Going up. Throws it down. Isaiah Evans cuts the lead down to 2. 23-21. St. John's. 8 points so far for Isaiah Evans. Here's Hopkins. Was looking for Ejiofor. It's tipped out of bounds by Brown. And that'll stop the clock with about 8:42 to go. It has been everything that you could expect so far tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Bryson Hopkins. Up the floor it goes for Sellers. Ejiofor. Looking for a man. It's poked away by Malik Brown. He recovers it. Back out for Ian Jackson. Off the screen. Jackson looking for a man. Finds his man Mitchell, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Unable to get a shot going, and Pitino is furious. But hey, when's Rick Pitino not angry? So I guess it goes without saying. I take St. John's off the scoreboard. Yeah, I take St. John's off my very big scoreboard ticker. Handle that. 23-21, Blue Devils going in. Caden Boozer won't go. Loose ball. Brown steals it. Goes up for Saul. Moves it down with authority. That guy had a family. And Duke ties it up. 18 points in the paint. What a dunk there by Sarr. Holy shnikes. Tough shot. That's up and in. A 3-ball once again. And St. John's goes back up 3. 26-23 the score. Yeah, I got to take St. John's off. And we're going to get a stoppage there as Kamania goes down. 26-23 is our score. With 7:33 to go. It's going to be a track meet for the ages. A beautiful jam by Sarr. But responding in kind is Mitchell. St. John's leads 26-23. We'll be back after this.
Knicks ain't no joke. Don't ever say New York choke. Orange and blue flame, the fire high. Who wants smoke? You want none with Bronx Sun and Ananobi. Don't cross bridges. These towns got hard. And you know me, the guard rock dominance. Name synonymous.
You know it's obvious.
And the rapper from Mecca to Metropolis. City lights get brighter when we play. NYC, NYK, NBA, Madison Square Garden. Stars will come. Fan charge to the job is done. Shot drop, shot clock at 1. You get your shot blocked and your ball stole. Robinson.
Look, she back again. It's the Knicks with another dosage. I think you should focus and notice you playing around with explosives. Give me a second, see I reckon you playing around with the weapon towns. Got the rebound, Knicks got the possession. I get to learning your lesson. Next season about to be a beat. And it don't matter to me who really ain't checking. Peep the way we consecutively winning. And we stand up in the garden making the most noise. Your head spinning and we drilling and we coming for the killing. 5 boroughs make noise. Yes, Knickerbocker for life. Say it with your chest. So we ain't never gonna stop. Everything is blessed. Standing ovation for the Knicks, we right here. Yeah. We all came together, making one thing clear. And we grateful for the energy you brought to the city that we ain't having over a quarter of a century. Thank you.
All things New York Knicks, especially in the final stretch and the NBA playoffs, will be found right here on Empire Sports Media. Shout out to Knicks Twitter, man. They put that masterpiece together. And yes, I said masterpiece. That thing is one of the best intro videos I've ever had. Thank you so much for letting me use this as my intro video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how grateful I am. Cheers to Nick's Twitter. Thank you so much for that video you made. It is absolutely perfect. It could not be any better than the way you made it. Thank you so much. For what you've done. I mean, it is the greatest community known to man. There is no group of people like the New York Knicks Twitter community. They are second to none, the greatest to ever do it. Yes, I said the greatest. You cannot beat it. In the Champions League quarterfinal, Real Madrid takes on Bayern Munich Tuesday, April 7th. And then PSG takes on Liverpool Wednesday, April 8th. I don't know why they made that a thing. Oh, the Rangers are losing to the friggin' Blackhawks. That is music to my ears. I love to see that. Rick Pitino is not happy. It's a day ending in Y. Rick Pitino is unhappy with his team's performance. Even though he's smiling, which is very rare from Rick Pitino to smile and laugh. You don't really get that very often. You normally get the, gotta play better defense. Like that, you know? It's very intriguing how Ricky handles business, but Rick's the man. 7:32 to go here in the first half. Kamania goes inside. Tough finish. No, but a late foul as we call it against Bryson Hopkins. And he is not pleased with the call. Make that 4 fouls now on St. John's. Or 5 fouls, excuse me. Yeah. I'd say you let him play on that one. I think that was a particularly soft call. Nevertheless, 2 free throws coming up for Kamania. First free throws are up and in. Both of them are good. 26-25 as Cam Boozer checks back in for the Blue Devils. So we got Ian Jackson, Mitchell, Ejiofor, Ruben Prey, and Isaiah Sellers. Jackson for 3. Short. Rebound, Ruben Prey. Had it, lost it. Picked up again by the Boozer brothers. Caden Boozer over to his brother Cam. Guarded by Ruben Prey. Finds man Isaiah Evans. Going up. Out to Boozer. Gets inside the paint. Guarded by Zuby. Pump fakes. And a travel is called against Cam Boozer. The first turnover of the half for Cam Boozer. Let's take a look at the replay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's like a hop, skip, and a jump right there. That's like 7 steps. That's obviously a travel. Here's Isaiah Sellers. Back up for Zuby Ejiofor. Gets the screen again. Drops it back off left side. Or right wing, excuse me. Here's Ejiofor. Top of the key. Looking for Ruben Prey. Gets it outside. Sellers. Pump fakes. Looks for a man. Spot up 2. Back of the rim, no. Malik Brown the rebound. Here come the Blue Devils pushing forward. Here's Caden Boozer. Gets inside the paint. Goes inside. Layup is good. Caden Boozer gives Duke the lead back. 6:17 to go here in the first half. Kicks it out. Ruben Prey off the pass from Mitchell. Prey back out to Mitchell. Swings it back for Sellers. Ejiofor. Back out. Ian Jackson. Looking. Down low for Zuby. It's tipped. Mitchell gets it. Back to Zuby. Moves it on Malik Brown. Double teamed. Tough floater. No. Pass is tipped and out of bounds by Sarr. It will stay Johnny basketball. (27-26) out of bounds. Last touch by Duke. It'll stay with St. John's. Why am I not getting any score updates for Alabama, Michigan? Has the game not started yet? Not getting any score updates. Not quite sure why that game hasn't started yet. I'm trying to figure it out. Here's Isaiah Sellers going up. Blocked by Brown. It's picked up by the Boozers. Here they come. Caden Boozer kicks it out. Evans. Pump fake. 3-ball. Yes, sir. Isaiah Evans knocks down a 3. And Duke's got themselves a 4-point lead. 30-26 in favor of the Blue Devils. Here's Darling. Out to Mitchell. For Ejiofor. Ejiofor has a man on the left side. Swings it for Darling. And he is thrown down by Caden Boozer. And that's going to be a foul called against Duke, their 4th. Not, oh, it is Dylan Mitchell. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. 26-30 to score. Here's Ejiofor. Ian Jackson. Pump fakes. Dylan Mitchell moves it on Boozer. Swings it back out right corner. For Sanone. Or Sellers. Ejiofor with a nasty spin. Puts Brown on the floor. And St. John's cuts the lead in half. 30-28 with 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Here's Malik Brown. Gets it out for Caleb Foster. Up for Cam Boozer. One-on-one with Jackson. Kicks it out to the corner. Sarr. Back out for Boozer. Left elbow. Puts a body on him. Tough floater. Count it and 1. Cameron Boozer. The best big man in basketball. And his dad, Carlos Boozer, absolutely loving it to see his 2 sons going to work. By the way, nasty spin move there by Zuby Ejiofor. But Cam Boozer, just like his papa would in Chicago and Utah, hard-nosed, tough take to the basket, going for a good old-fashioned 3-point play. My friend said Cam Boozer is a foul baiter. I'm like, yeah, you're just figuring that out? Come on, everyone knows he's a foul baiter. He's one of the most egregious foul baiters in basketball. Everyone knows it. You're just late to the party. 33-28, Duke's got the lead. Here's Ejiofor. Goes inside. Kicks it out. Left wing, Sanone. Can't hit. Rebound by Foster. Here come the Blue Devils flying. Cam Boozer moves it on Prey. Going up. No, but another foul is called. Right back to the line goes Cam Boozer. 7 fouls so far for the Johnnies. And with 4:20 to go, back to the stripe goes Boozer. First free throw up and in. Cam Boozer, very much up there with Larry Bird, averaging 22.4 points per game, 10.3 rebounds, 4.2 assists as an underclassman. Larry Bird at Indiana State at 32.8 points per game, 13.3 rebounds, and 4.4 assists Obviously, Indiana State nowhere near the powerhouse that they used to be back in the 1980s. As Boozer knocks down them both. 35-28, Blue Devils up 7, their largest lead of the night. Here's Darling, guarded by Sarr, top of the key, out for Ian Jackson. Or Sanone, excuse me. And a foul on the floor is going to be called, I think, against Isaiah Evans. So now make that 5 fouls for Duke. Remind you that they are in the bonus. 4 timeouts on each side. Here's Darling. Looking, kicks it out. Sanone. Turns it over again. It's picked up by Ngongba. Up for Foster. Gets it down for Cam Boozer. Moving it on Prey. Sends it back out for Foster. Evans, top of the key. Goes inside. Floater, no. Loose ball, Sarr's got it. Picking up the loose change. Swings it over for Foster. Caleb Foster, shot clock at 6. Foster, the spin, tough shot. Double bounce, no. Loose ball picked up by Prey. And it's going to be St. John's basketball. Somehow. I guess there was a foul called. Yeah, it is indeed a foul on Ngongba. With 3:21 to go, St. John's trailing 35-28. We'll be back after this. But first, a message from Empire Sports Media.
Woke up the snow, got yourself a gun. Your mama always said you'd be the chosen one. She said, 1 in a million, you got to burn and shine. You were born under a bad sign, blue moon in your eye. And you woke up the snow, all that love had gone. Your papa never told you about right and wrong. But you're looking good, baby. I believe that you're feeling fine. Shade my light, moon under a bad sign, blue moon in your eyes. So say it now.
Tell me! And got the
Josh McCown struggled all 82. The Knicks not make the playoffs and fucking somebody ruptures some. I would rather all of that shit.
intercepted! Twisted Ray!
All things New York sports, things are going up and away. To say that we are entering the equinox of the sports calendar is an understatement. We've got baseball back underway. The NHL and NBA playoffs kicking off with a couple of New York teams. Shout out to the New York Knicks for basically being a lock to make the playoffs. And shout out to the New York Islanders for fighting to stay in that Eastern Conference wildcard race. That's an absolute crapshoot. And no shout out to the Rangers and Devils. They are both terrible. Kind of deserved. Now, I keep seeing ads about this Michael Jackson movie. There's no doubt in my mind I'm not going to see this. This thing looks incredible. Like, genuinely. And I haven't been to a movie theater in a long time. And of course, we got the Masters coming up in a few weeks. For all you golf fans out there, I'm sure there's a lot of white people watching this, so I'm sure they're pretty much into golf. And if you're not, I would be very surprised. Someone gotta like golf. Dun 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 dun. It has been a very tough task for the St. John's Red Storm to stop this aerial assault that is the Duke Blue Devils. They've been flying up and down the floor with no regard for human life. It has not been a good game so far for St. John's, especially inside the paint, as Duke is just flat out dominating. under the basket. Here is Sanon. Finds his man Darling. Crosses over to Ejiofor. Ejiofor, the swing out to Sanon. Double teamed again. Out to Darling for three. Connects. Dylan Darling knocks down a three ball, and St. John's within four. Both teams are in the bonus. I would just like to let you guys know that now. Here comes Cam Boozer, moving in on Ruben Prey. Boozer for Malik Brown. Caleb Foster, moving in with Dylan Darling. Swings it over for Isaiah Evans. Evans back over to Sarr, gets the screen from Boozer. Shot clock at 3, down to 2, down to 1. Sarr going up, tough take, no. The putback short, but a foul is called against St. John's. That'll send Duke right back to the line. The fouls just continue. Yeah, I saw that. Pretty crazy. 8 fouls so far for St. John's. And look, as you can see, right in the top right, the scoreboard is in fact working. Live in real time. You're going to be getting score updates. Alabama leading 6-2. First free throw by Malik Brown is up and good, 36-31, as Caden Boozer and Nick Kamania come back in for the Blue Devils. Both free throws go up and in. Duke's got themselves a 6-point lead once again. 2:24 to go here in the first half. 5 players in foul trouble. Dylan Mitchell, Jose Senin, and Bryson Hopkins both in foul trouble for the Red Storm. Duke shooting 9 free throws so far. Here's Dylan Darling. Gets it through to Caden Boozer. Ejiofor wide open for 3. How about it? Zuby Ejiofor, the big man, knocks down a 3 ball. And St. John's cuts the lead back in half, down to 3. Nick Kamania. Long pass up for Cam Boozer. He's one-on-one with Ejiofor. Going up the drive. A blocking foul is called. And right back to the line goes Cam Boozer. This is getting ridiculous. I mean, they legitimately call everything on this dude. It's incredible. I don't understand it, man. How does this dude get so many fouls? First free throw by Boozer, up and in, 38-34. And it looks like a free throw violation, so add another free throw to the man. Yeah, Ejiofor stepped off early. And now Cam Boozer able to knock down his second chance free throw. It's a 5-point game once again. (34-39) the score. Here's Ruben Prey. Over for Ejiofor. Guarded by Boozer. Spins. Kicks it out. For 3. That one's not going to go. And Prey touched it last. It will be Duke basketball with 1:29 to go. Can I put the bonus plus thing? Will it even pop up? Hey! It does. Oh, yeah. 1:29 to go. 39-34. Blue Devils lead. It's been all Dukes in the back half of the first. Caden Boozer swings it for his brother Cameron. Off the screen from Kamania, guarded by Darling. Oh, that's a Greek guy. Kamania gonna launch a three. That won't go. Tipped again, picked up by St. John's. Here's Darling. I do not know how to say the Greek guy's last name. I'm not gonna lie. Edge of four. Prey. Bottoms. Ruben Prey knocks down the three ball. St. John's gets within two. How the hell do you say the Greek guy's last name? I deadass do not remember. And a TV timeout with 50.2 to go. St. John's hanging in there. Lefteris Leotopoulos, the goal. Leotopoulos. That's how you say his name. Very slow start for Michigan. Gotta admit, I did not see this coming. But I'm sure they'll lock it eventually. The big thing for St. John's tonight is they just have to be able to limit the amount of free throws that Duke is shooting. Now, granted, that's not fully in their control because of how poorly the refs are when it comes to Duke games. They give way too much respect to Cam Boozer, and they give him pretty much every foul call. It's honestly ridiculous. I don't understand how one gets this much special treatment. Game summary so far: St. John's out shooting Duke in the 3-point range, 8-2, but 8 for 17. Duke's only shot four. They've only shot 6 3-pointers, which is kind of wild to think about. They haven't really done much, to say the least, to try and stop St. John's, especially from beyond the arc. But the Johnnies have just not been able to connect on a lot of these three balls. A lot of missed opportunities here for St. John's. Here's the full court press once again. Leotopoulos guarding Boozer. Duke has not hit a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Boozer goes up, blocked by Prey. And I'll stop the clock with 40 seconds to go. Ruben Prey getting it done on all sides of the floor. 40 seconds to go. Inbound, Evans for three. Back iron, no. Edge of four gets the rebound. (39-37). Duke's got the lead. 25 seconds left in the first half. Here's Sellers. Up for Ejiofor. Ian Jackson. Top of the key now, back at the March Madness logo. Gets the screen in from Prey. Prey, wide open, launches. Oh, yeah. Ruben Prey knocks it down. St. John's with the lead. 6 seconds to go here for Duke. Caden Boozer Goes inside. Leotopoulos, tough shot. No. Rebound Jackson, and that will do it for the first half of play in Washington, D.C. The St. John's Red Storm are just 20 minutes away from moving on to the Elite Eight for the first time in a very long time. Ruben Prey has answered the call for St. John's, and they lead this one 40-39. We're going to step aside for about a 5-minute break as we have hit halftime. Don't go anywhere as you're watching coverage of March Madness on Empire Sports Media. We will be back. and Michigan State. For those who are just tuning in, I'm JJ Seglio. A wild first half, to say the least. 40-39, the score. It's been a solid matchup. I'm going to say that right now. Very tooth and nail game, could very much go either way. Now, what I can tell you firsthand, this is confirmed. This is happening. I'm streaming to the end of the St. John's game, and then I am covering the end of Alabama, Michigan. Unless this game ends first. Which I don't think that'll happen. St. John's has a chance. It's a very close game. I don't know if I can sit here and be that confident in them. This is a crazy game. We are in for a wild second half. So as we're finally ready to start the second half of play, the big story has been Ruben Prey. He has been all over the place for St. John's, especially off the bench. And here we go. Sar inbounds, and we are underway for the second half. 20 minutes to determine who's going to the Elite Eight. Here's Boozer. Finds Sar right wing. Boozer, guarded by Bryson Hopkins. Double team by Sellers. Boozer goes inside. Layup is money. Cam Boozer gives Duke the lead back. It's Hopkins, Mitchell, Ejiofor, Sellers, and Darling on the floor for St. John's. Brown, Sar, Boozer, and Evans on the floor for the Blue Devils. Here's Darling. Gets the screen, double team by Malik Brown, and he is fouled. That'll result in the first foul of the half. I wish that clock was moving in real time. 19:20 to go here, just about 50 seconds in. Darling cuts inside, pump fakes out to Hopkins at the top of the key, guarded by Evans. Hopkins goes inside. No, layup can't finish. Ejiofor the rebound. Goes up for it. Misses again. And it's taken away by the Blue Devils. Here comes Brown. Cam Boozer. Or Caden. Kicks it out. Evans for three. Connects. Isaiah Evans. And just like that, Duke up 4. And it looks like a foul is going to be called. It'll go against Duke. You cannot leave a shooter like Isaiah Evans that wide open. So here we go. Goes up for it. That's going to come up short. I lost the feed for a second. My apologies. It's been clean all day. And it looks like a foul is going to be called again. This one will go against Duke. Their second foul of the half. Or third foul of the half. And St. John's with possession. I feel nice and cleaned up. I don't have the beard anymore. That shot's up and in. I could not see it because my view was blocked for a minute. 44-42 our score in favor of Duke. St. John's is 1 for 6 in this half. Not ideal for them. Here's Caden Boozer. Back out to Cam. And a steal! Here comes Ejiofor. Fast break. Throws it down. And this game is tied. Zuby Ejiofor getting it done. Doing the dirty work. And just like that, we have a tie game in Washington. 44-44. Here's Caden Boozer. Out for Malik Brown. Back to Boozer. Isaiah Evans. Moves in. Step back 3. Double bounce. No. Malik Brown. Right place, right time. No. Boozer the putback. That won't go either. Here comes Zuby Ejiofor. Swings it down low. Counted and one. Dylan Mitchell gives St. John's the lead back. And he'll have a chance for a 3-point play. 4 fouls early in this half for Duke. A 7-0 run for the St. John's Red Storm. As it looks like we have hit the floater. No, there is not a floater yet. Those are wondering the score of the Alabama-Michigan game. All you got to do is look up. As the free throw by Mitchell is short. 17-14 to go. And a steal by St. John's. Darling, Ejiofor. One-handed jam. And a timeout taken by John Shire. And the Johnnies faithful in Washington absolutely love it. A 10-0 run. You can feel the madness. Do you feel it? And New York's team blazing out in the second half. 48-44, an 8-0 run for the Johnnies. We'll be right back after this. Shit, that's the wrong thing.
It's March! Expect the unexpected!
Welcome back to the action. 48-44. You could not have asked for a better start if you are the St. John's Red Storm. Coming out on an 8-0 run this early. My goodness. A perfect start for New York's team. (46-41), Michigan has taken the lead in their matchup against the Crimson Tide. There's a lot of big marquee matchups tonight. Following this matchup is Tennessee and Iowa State late at night tonight. Obviously, UConn, Michigan State at 9:30. That'll be a fun one. Maybe 9:45. I'm not 100% sure. But it looks like you're going to get about 10 minutes or so of bonus coverage between Alabama and Michigan, as it appears that that game is about to hit halftime, but somehow they still haven't. I don't know. Maybe it'll catch up. I'm not 100% sure. But a big stretch for St. John's. 7 points off of turnovers. Zuby Ejiofor with 11.7 rebounds. St. John's has been able to put a lot of pressure on the Blue Devils with 7 turnovers so far. But Duke has officially been doing Duke is doing what they do best, and that is to just dominate the interior. And they're +6 in points in paint. Points in the paint. An 8-0 run for the Johnnies to start the second half in the last minute 40. All off of forced turnovers. Here comes Caden Boozer up the floor, guarded by Darling. And another takeaway. Here comes St. John's again. Mitchell, Ejiofor, another finish. It's a 10-0 run for St. John's, and the press is in full effect. Here comes Sarr. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Blue Devils. My goodness. What a push for St. John's. I did not see this coming. This is low-key awesome. I am enjoying this. Not a fan of either team, but I'm kind of enjoying this. As it'll be a side out. Sarr set to take the inbound. He's going to move this one up for Caleb Foster. Foster finds Boozer. Boozer looking for a man. Finds Isaiah Evans. And a foul going to be called against Zuby Ejiofor. It'll be his first. Maybe a second. The turnaround of St. John's. In the previous 24 seasons, they had 16 wins this season with a .510 win percentage. No Big East regular season titles and only 1 tournament win. The last 3 years of Rick Pitino, 27 wins a year. That's .771 win percentage. 2 Big East tournaments and 3 NCAA tournament wins. When in doubt, get Rick Pitino as your coach. A proven winner, national champion with the University of Louisville. 2-time MAC champion with the Iona Gales. He wins everywhere he goes. He's the man. Isaiah Evans falls down and a foul called against the Johnnies. It'll be their second in about 10 seconds. It'll go against the white man, Dylan Darling. Yeah, he smacks him right on the shoulder. It's a pretty clear foul. Here's Sarr. Boozer, a beautiful play by Ruben Prey to somehow keep that from getting out of hand. That could have been an easy 2 points there for the Blue Devils, but right there is Prey to finish. (40-54), 44-50, excuse me. Here's Cam Foster. Foster. Sarr. Back of the rim, no. Boozer can't get it. Tip to Ejiofor. Here comes St. John's. Ian Jackson. Here come the Johnnies. Jackson. Right corner. Gets it back up for Ejiofor. Ejiofor. Pump fakes. Out to the right corner. Ruben Prey. Bottoms! Ruben Prey knocks down another. And the Johnnies have a 9-point lead. Here comes Cam Boozer. Goes inside. Blocked by Prey. Ngamba the rebound. Goes up and he's fouled. Hard and heavy contact, but no answer for the St. John's 3-point assault. 53-44. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the action. 53-44. It has been all Johnnies ever since the halftime break, and things are looking ugly for the number one team in the country. Not in a great position right now. I'm going to just say that. It is a do or die stage coming up for the Blue Devils, as they have just not been able to find their form at all today. They've been dominating points in the paint, but other than that, it just has not been there. As I feel like the aura of March Madness may slowly be returning, which would be phenomenal because we need these damn upsets. Speaking of which, 47-47 Alabama, Michigan. This is going to be a fun one to call. I'm going to just say that right now. Once this game is over, that one's taking center stage. The Final Four are taking place between April 3rd and April 5th for the women's bracket, to be more specific, as the men's one is a little bit before that, a little bit after that. Ella Della Donne taking over Bleacher Report with the all-new Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. What a legend she used to be for the WNBA. She was a phenomenal player. I'm going to just say that right now. She was outstanding when she played for the Chicago Sky. Nagamba's first free throw is up and good. And that'll make it an 8-point game, 45-53. 53-45, pardon me. So an 8-point lead for St. John's, 15-20 to go here in the second half. Here's Ian Jackson. Off dribble, finds Ejiofor. Zuby back to Sellers for Prey. Sets one up for Jackson. Shot clock at 5. Jackson fadeaway 2. Connects. Ian Jackson continuing his hot streak. St. John's has a 10-point lead. Things are really starting to pick up here for the Red Storm. On a 15-1 run. Here's Foster. Back for Brown. Boozer. Pump fakes. Right wing. He's got Foster again. Guarded by Hopkins. Foster kicks it out. Cam Boozer just chucks it up. That one won't go. Nagamba the rebound. Back out to Boozer. His three-pointer. Back iron, no. Rebound by Caleb Foster. And finally, they convert on the possession. And Patino is not pleased that his guys gave up that many offensive rebounds. That is something that will drive Rick Pitino up a wall as Caleb Foster gets his first point of the evening. 55-47, St. John's lead. Here's Ruben Prey. Back up for Sellers. Back across for Ejiofor. Well, that's Ian Jackson, pardon me. Is that Mitchell? I can barely see the number. It is Mitchell. Zuby for 2. That won't go. Sar the rebound. Loose ball picked up by Nagamba. 13:44 to go here in the second half. 55-47. Johnny's lead by 8. St. John's is an abysmal 3 for 10 from beyond the arc. Going inside, and another bucket for Caleb Foster. He's got back-to-back buckets. 55-49 the score. And a timeout taken by the Johnnies. That'll be their first of the half, as we will get a clock stop at 13:29. It has indeed been all Duke since that last timeout. 6-point lead cut down. We'll be back after this. Why did I do that? So I could see it better. It's still on. The volume's just off. Alright, sounds good. Sorry, everything just disappeared for a split second. Alright, let's actually go to breakdown. Sorry, the thing took forever to set up. 57-49. St. John's has themselves an 8-point cushion. And now my clock's miles behind. Caleb Foster responds in kind. Another bucket for him. He's got 6 points here in these last few minutes. 57-51. All right, now we're all caught up. Here's Mitchell. 3 ball. That won't go as Sellers can't get that one to finish. Here's Foster. Going in. The drive block won't go. It's going to be a blocking foul against St. John's. 4 fouls for the Red Storm as we're starting to get to bonus territory. My earpiece is working. Isaiah Sellers going to pick up his second. Foster unable to connect on the first free throw. Every time that Duke has won the national championship, they've beaten St. John's on their path, whether it's in the regular season, the Elite Eight, you name it. And a foul is going to be called against Amenya. That's how you say it, I guess. (57-52) the score. St. John's leads by 5. Here's Darling. Swings it back to the top of the key for Sellers. Hopkins kicks it back out for Sellers. Sellers back to Ejiofor. 10-footer. Double bounce, no. Cam Boozer the rebound. Here come the Blue Devils. We don't need the earpiece anymore. Now here comes Caleb Foster. Gets inside. Looks for a man. Drops this one off for Boozer. And my feed just froze. Wonderful. Ha! I'm assuming he scored is my guess. Yeah, he did. Shocker. He scored. 57-54. The lead is now cut down to 3. All of a sudden, here come the Blue Devils. 57-54. 11:46 to go here in the second half.
Woke up the snow, got yourself a gun. Your mama always said you'd be the chosen one. She said, 1 in a million, you got to burn the shine. You were born under a bad sign.
Watch McCown struggle all 82. The Knicks not make the playoffs and fucking somebody ruptures some. I would rather all of that shit.
Intercepted! Twisted
It's March! Expect the unexpected!
Welcome back to the madness. 57-54 is our score. St. John's leading by 3. It's been a wild one. I'm going to just go ahead and say that right now. It's been a very tooth and nail contest between these two squads. One going blow for blow with the other. It's been incredibly back and forth. We'll see if this will continue throughout the stretch, but I feel like the big thing for St. John's the rest of the way is they have to limit the fouls. Not only that, they also have been unable to match the intensity that the Red Storm have been putting on. And that, to me, is a big weakness for Duke. But getting this within 3 points was absolutely necessary, and they have done just that. So not too much of a concern for the Blue Devils, but they just have to limit the mistakes and figure out how on earth to stop Zuby Ejiofor, because they just have not been able to do it all night long. 57-54, St. John's leads by 3. 5 fouls for the Blue Devils, 4 for the Red Storm, as here we are back underway with it going to Mitchell. Swings it back for Sanone. Today. Here's Boozer. Cuts inside. Goes up. Can't get the finish. Gets his own rebound. Double clutches. Goes up and scores. Cam Boozer. Just doing what he does best. It is Mitchell there. Here's Mitchell for Darling. Darling back out to Sellers. Top of the key. Guarded by Kamania. Here's Darling. Gets it down low. Ejiofor. Mitchell. Darling. Can he respond? No, sir. Loose ball. And it is going to be Duke basketball. Last touched by Mitchell. No, it's going to be off of Ejiofor. Regardless, it is indeed Blue Devil ball. With 10:29 to go here in the second half. Alabama leads 49-47 at the half between Alabama and Michigan. 60-56. Gets the inbound up for Caleb Foster. We're back underway. Foster moving it on Darling. Gets over the timing line. Foster. Gets the screen from Boozer. Goes to his left. Swings it back for Cam. The floater, no. Ngamba the rebound. Back up. Floater by Kamania is good. And Duke's within 2. With 10 minutes to go, the Blue Devils have cut the lead down to just 1 bucket. 60-58, St. John's up by 2. Here's Darling. Back across for Sanone, or Mitchell. Here's Jackson. Back for Darling. Jackson. Top of the key. Finds his man Ejiofor. Gets it back for Hopkins. Goes inside. Spin. Shot clock at 1. Got to put it up and knocks it down. Bryson Hopkins. The Providence transfer going ballistic tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He's got himself 8 points. And a steal, but it's regained by Foster. Are they going to say, no, he did not make it over in time? It's an 8-second violation against Caleb Foster, and it's St. John's basketball. Take a little replay. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. No, he did not. Shot clock at 20 as Isaiah Evans comes back in for the Johnnies. Or for Duke. I'm sorry, the Johnnies. Jesus Christ. Here's the inbound. Goes to Darling. Off the screen, Ejiofor. Darling kicks this one out to Zuby. Darling. Right corner, Ian Jackson. Ejiofor, the floater. No. Rebound, Boozer. Here comes Duke. 9 minutes to go here in the second half. 62-58. St. John's is the lead. Boozer. Kamania. Blocking foul called against St. John's. With 9:01 to go. 5 fouls now on each side. Yeah, I believe that's the right call. He'll go against Dylan Darling. Long heave inbound pass from Boozer to Boozer. At the edge of the NCAA logo. Cam Boozer looks, cuts inside, goes to his right, spins it back out to Caden Boozer. Back out for Evans, shot clock at 6. Evans fall away 2, knocks it down. Isaiah Evans cuts the lead back to 2. 62-60, 8:40 to go. 16 points tonight for Isaiah Evans. He leads Duke in points. Here's Ian Jackson off the screen from Ejiofor. Gets it back out to the left corner for Hopkins. Here's Zuby. It's tipped. It'll be staying with St. John's. No one has been able to match the three-point ability and the shooting prowess of Isaiah Evans, as he's been all over the place tonight with 16 points for the Blue Devils. 8:19 to go. Both teams shooting 10 for 29 for 19 from field goal percentage in the half. It's been very even. Jackson, long 3. Short. Evans the rebound. 8:10 to go here in the second half. 62-60. St. John's leads by 2. Here's Caden Boozer. Drives inside. Looking for a man. Bounces it over for Cam. Boozer off the screen from Evans. Looking, finds Evans to give him a lead. He connects again. No one can stop Isaiah Evans. And the Blue Devils have themselves the lead. 63-62. Their first lead since 44-42. It does not last long. The 3-ball is good. And St. John's retakes the lead right back. Bryson Hopkins getting it done again. 65-63. 7.5 to go. Here's Kamania. Back out for Boozer. Cameron Boozer. Off the screen, Evans. Goes in, the layup is good. Isaiah Evans just cannot be stopped. 24 points tonight, or 21 points tonight. I am making one extra 3-pointer. Here's Jackson. This is his 9th game this season with 20-plus points. Another dominant night for Isaiah Evans. Here's Hopkins. Ejiofor. Hopkins. Left corner. Mitchell. Jackson! No. Evans the rebound. And here comes Duke. 6:40 to go here in the second half. It's been a hell of a contest tonight, I will say that, ladies and gents. 2 timeouts now on each side. Here's Caden Boozer. Off the screen. Evans! No, but a foul is going to be called. That's going to be 3 free throws coming up for the Blue Devils. A potentially costly foul. With 6:16 to go, 3 free throws coming up for the Duke Blue Devils. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the madness. 65-65 is the score. Yeah, unfortunately, I was kidding about the double feature. There will not be a coverage of Alabama, Michigan. This will only be a one-game stream because this is already taken way longer than I thought it would. I feel like I'd rather watch that game anyway. Things are getting dire as we enter the big stage coming up. The final 6.5 minutes, it has been a very even matchup between these two universities. One a basketball powerhouse, the other looking to return back to its former glory. One of them famished for a ring, the other just wants to make it back to the big time. St. John's 65, the number 5 team in the East region. Duke 65, the number 1 team in the East region. Buckle up. It's about to get crazy. Game summary. Both teams are at 65. Duke shooting just a little bit better with 51% from the field. St. John shooting 48% from the field. St. John's is 12 for 26 on threes. Meanwhile, 4 for 13 are the Blue Devils. Now, the foul is going to be called on Ian Jackson for shoving. It looks like they're going to try to call this a flagrant foul. Let's listen in. I don't think this was in the act of shooting. This should be on the floor. And the free throw by Ndonga is no good. Missed them both. Ngamba unable to make either one of his technical free throws. 65-65. The free throw differential, by the way, is absolutely off the charts. 17 free throws for Duke and only 5 for the Red Storm. Here's Boozer. Cuts inside, pump fakes, tough take, and gets it to go. Caden Boozer gives the Blue Devils the lead right back with just over 6 minutes to play. Now here come the Red Storm. The drive inside, no. It's Malik Brown who's got it. He's going to move it up for Caden Boozer. 5 ties, 8 lead changes here in this one. The biggest lead was the Johnnies by 10 and Duke by 7. Boozer. And another foul is called against the Red Storm. It is their 8th personal foul of the half, which I believe will now put Duke in the bonus. So now straight free throws coming for the rest of the half. Dylan Darling in foul trouble with 4 fouls tonight on 8 points and 3 assists. Not a great night for him. And he misses the front end. The free throw misses continue for the Blue Devils. 5.5 to go. Here's Mitchell. Back out for Hopkins. To Sellers. Jackson. Back for Sellers. Gets the screen from Sonone. Mitchell. Kicks this one out. Jackson. Step back 3. Off the mark. Rebound to Cam Boozer. Here come the Blue Devils. 5:12 to go here in the second half. Who is going to the Elite 8? We're going to find out in the next 5 minutes. It's tipped but picked up by Malik Brown. Shot clock at 15. Brown back out for Boozer. Cameron Boozer. The spin. Tough shot. Can't get it to go. Loose ball picked up by Bryson Hopkins. 4:40 to go here in the game. Hopkins spins, lost the ball, but recovers it. Kicks this one out to Sellers. Pressured by Kamania. Sellers, open paint, blocked. And it's picked up by Brown, who stole it. Edge of 4 goes up. Counted in the foul. My goodness. What a sequence by Bryson Hopkins. And St. John's now with a chance to take the lead on a good old-fashioned three-point play. Bryson Hopkins, through contact and all, has now put the Johnnies in the bonus. Or not yet, but they're about to be. One more foul and they are in the bonus. 4:22 to go here in the half. In the game, I'll be more specific. Michigan just started the second half, and we have 4 minutes left in this game. Hopkins free throw. In and out, but the putback is good. Dylan Mitchell has given St. John's the lead back 69-67. 4:10 to go here in the game. Caleb Foster. Sorry, it's on my eye. Boozer. Back out to Evans. Evans, step back 3. Nylon! Isaiah Evans knocks down another. He cannot be stopped. He's on fire tonight. 24 for number 3 in blue and white. Here's Jackson off the screen from Sarr. Kicks this one out to the corner. Mitchell for 2. Off the mark. Rebound to Boozer. 3:25 to go here in the second half. Foster. Up to Boozer. 3:12 to go here in the second half and in the contest. Cam Boozer. The drive. Count it! And the foul. Cameron Boozer, the best big man in college basketball, gives the Blue Devils a 3-point lead. And his dad is ecstatic. 72-69 the score. We'll be back after this.
It's March! Expect
Woke up the snow, got yourself a gun. Your mama always said you'd be the chosen one. She said, 1 in a million, you got to burn the shine. She was born under a bad sun with a blue moon in your eye. Woke up the snow, all that love had gone. Your papa never told you about right and wrong. But you're looking good, baby. I believe that you're feeling fine. Shake my body, born under a bad sun with a blue moon in your eyes. So sing it now.
Tell me! And cut the...
Ross McCall struggled all 82. The Knicks not make the playoffs and fucking somebody ruptures some. I would rather all of that shit.
Intercepted! Twisted Ray! 72-69. 3 minutes to go. This has been a barn burner. And it's why we love March Madness. Is for games like this. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Boozer currently just put the Blue Devils up by 3. Now, they're officially in the driver's seat. If he knocks down this free throw, they will now lead by 2 possessions. And will really make you wonder if it may be a little bit too little too late for St. John's to continuously keep up. Did you just swing in a pitch that was at your head? Let's just forget about it. No bueno. Now, I'm not a fan of either one of these teams. I'm loving this game. Like, I'm absolutely loving it. This is college basketball, baby. You can't beat it in March. Nothing comes close to what happens in this March Madness tournament. It is one of a kind. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The final 3 minutes of this showdown between two legendary schools. 9 schools returned from last year's Sweet 16. 8 of the last 9 defending champions have failed to reach the Sweet 16, with Florida being the odd man out, eliminated in the round of 32. The first Sweet 16 in history without Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, or UCLA. The Capital One rewarding performance tonight goes to the St. John's Red Storm 3-point field goal percentage. 33.2% from the field. Tonight, they're 12 for 27. An outstanding performance from the Johnnies from beyond the arc. But this is a big free throw coming up for Cam Boozer. He knocks it down. It's a 4-point game. 3:06 to go. Last ditch coming up for the Johnnies. Here's Darling. Back across for Sellers. I almost said Mitchell. That's Mitchell. Isaiah Sellers are letting this thing run. Out to Hopkins. Kicks inside. Finds a man. Sellers! Off the mark. Rebounded by Caleb Foster. Final 2:40 to go here in this contest. 73-69. Duke's got the lead. Caleb Foster. Looking. Gets the screen. Drives inside. Tough shot. Blocked by Ejiofor. And it'll stay Duke basketball with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Yeah, pretty obvious. Johnny's got to play tight defense for the next 10 seconds. They find a man. It's Brown to Boozer with 5 on the clock. Cam Boozer kicks it out. Foster spot up 2. Buries it. Caleb Foster off the bench has given Duke a 6-point lead. 75-69. Darling, the Johnnies need a 3 quick. Cuts inside, left corner. Ejiofor. Nylon! Zuby Ejiofor has cut the lead to 3. 75-72. Here's Caleb Foster. Gets over the timing line. 16, 8, and 6 for Zuby Ejiofor tonight, ladies and gents. Here's Foster. Off the dribble. Shot clock down to 12. Guarded by Darling. Gets the screen from Evans. Foster gets inside. Tough take. Count it. Here's Sellers to Darling. They need this. They don't get it to go. The rebound goes out to the left corner. Here's Hopkins, guarded by Foster. Gets the screen. Ejiofor won't go again. Loose ball. It'll stay with St. John's. With just under, maybe just over a minute to go, Caleb Foster has been getting it done for the Blue Devils tonight, folks. There is no doubt in my mind. With just 1:07 to go, and they go to a fucking commercial break. Are you serious? Yeah, Bama missed. There's too much going on in Bama Michigan for me to call it. A wild game this has been tonight at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. 77-72. I don't care which side has it, but let there be that kind of shot. Where I can say the thing. Here it is. The final 67 seconds left of this contest between Duke and St. John's. 77-72. St. John's to take the inbound side out. Things are really getting interesting here. Hopkins set to take the inbound. Gets this one into Ejiofor. Now here's Mitchell. Back out to the left corner for a scrum. Sends this one back out for Hopkins. Goes inside. Layup is good. A big bucket for St. John's. And they've cut it down to a 3-point game. Now here comes Duke. The Hail Mary pass. Finds his target. It's Evans. No, that's the Gamba. Excuse me. And a foul called. Or no, a timeout, I assume, taken by St. John's. Or no, it's Duke. Duke's going to call a timeout. That'll leave them with one remaining. 77-74 with 40 seconds left. And they go back to a commercial. Like, why? Screw it. Play it one more time.
It's March! Expect the unexpected!
Final 40 seconds left in this contest. For those just joining us, I'm JJ Seglio. 77-74, the Duke Blue Devils have themselves a 3-point lead over the St. John's Red Storm. Here we go. 41 seconds left, but first step is you got to get this inbound. Sends it for Foster. Tight defense here from the Red Storm. 35 seconds to go. Caleb Foster off the screen. Guarded by Hopkins at the 3. And it looks like a foul called on the Johnnies. So that'll send Foster to the line. I think. Oh, never mind. Boozer to the line. So you could just add up 2 points right here because Caleb Boozer ain't missing these free throws. Or Cam Boozer is not missing these free throws. He's 6 for 6 tonight from the charity stripe. And there ain't going to be no announcer jinx tonight. The man legitimately just does not miss free throws. There will not be an announcer jinx. I stand corrected. Never doubt the announcer jinx. 30 seconds to go. Dylan Darling. Off the screen from Ejiofor. They got to put up a 3 at quick. Darling. Looking. Finds Ejiofor. With 15 on the clock. Zuby the drive. Layup. No. But a foul is called. It'll go against the Blue Devils. But why are you trying to take a 2 in this situation? You're down 3. You need a buck. You need a 3. But this will almost no doubt put St. John's in the bonus. Two shots for Zuby Ejiofor. The first one's good. With just 14.7 seconds left. 77-75. Unfortunately, we're going to be cutting anything today, sadly. So, that's a shame. 77-75. Ejiofor misses. Duke's got the rebound. Here's Isaiah Evans. And he's fouled. And that may have just sealed the game. 10.8 seconds left. Unless Ejiofor is going to miss that on purpose and get his own rebound. But now they'll send the red hot, my player of the game, Isaiah Evans, to the charity stripe. And it looks like that St. John's called I think St. John's, or it may have been John Shire. Someone called a timeout. And they send us to commercial again. Like, why? So annoying. I hate it. Updated Michigan, Alabama. Michigan leads by 10, 70-60. That game's gonna end like 110 to 105 or something like that. I don't know. Pretty high scoring game. It's a 2-point game. 10 fouls for St. John's, 7 for Duke. No fouls to give on either side. But all you had to do, I don't understand why I didn't just go for the 3. That's what I was questioning. Is why don't you just go for your free? Go for the 3. To me, it did not make sense. "11 seconds away. All Isaiah Evans has to do is make his free throw. It is indeed 2 shots. He just got to make one. He's got to make them both. And I believe he will. First free throw coming from my player of the game, Isaiah Evans. To go up 3. He misses! The announcer jinx is undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how. How am I so good at jinxing people? Good God. Maybe there is a JJ curse. Who knows? Second free throw is good. So now a 3 is needed for St. John's to survive. Final 10 seconds. Darling gets the screen from edge of 4. Darling, long 3 ball. Short. And they're going to say it's out of bounds. It's Duke's ball with 1.8 seconds to go. The Darling was unable to come up clutch tonight, ladies and gentlemen. For the Blue Devils have just sealed their ticket to the Elite 8, barring an unbelievable mistake. And Shire is going to take the final timeout. Honestly, smart move. Darling just had to chuck up a shot, and he could not hit it. That's a deep 3, too. I think that touched the back. Did that even touch the rim? No. It was an air ball. Hopkins tried to save it, but unable to do so. As it appears that the Red Storm have come up empty on their quest for glory. They had a magical win against Kansas, but have left a lot to be desired. Now, granted, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, but they definitely should have been the number 3 seed in the tournament. They probably should be playing UConn right now instead of Duke. This should be Michigan State's game, in my honest opinion. Or have them play Michigan State and have UConn play Duke. They were treated very unfairly to the AP poll. There is 2.1 seconds on the clock, so that's good to know. All they have to do is get this inbound off, and they win. Plain and simple. But Duke has turned the ball over so many times tonight. 2.1 seconds to go, and a last-minute substitution. Mitchell is on Foster. All they got to do is get this inbound in, and this game's over. Foster finds his man Boozer, and he's fouled with 1.5 to go. It's only right that this game's going to come down to Cameron Boozer. Make that 11 fouls. for St. John's. Boozer's shirt's ripped and everything. Like, this is... his jersey is literally falling apart as we speak. I've not seen something like that in a very long time. First free throw from Cam Boozer. He's got it. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. With 1.5 seconds left. He's perfect. He knocks them both down. Last chance. Half-court heave. Off the top of the backboard. That will do it, ladies and gentlemen. The Duke Blue Devils stay alive in March Madness as they are headed to the Elite Eight against the winner of tonight's contest between Michigan State and the UConn Huskies. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. I'm JJ Seglio signing off. The final score, Duke 80, St. John's 75.